Coming up next on Jersey Matters, new real estate numbers are out for the state. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to stay put? We will let you know. Also, we'll visit one New Jersey town that is making a huge economic comeback. We'll tell you how they did it. And he may be the best-known high school basketball coach in America. Now he's trying to save the school that he made famous. We sit down with Bob Hurley from St. Anthony's. Those stories and a whole lot more because Jersey Matters. Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. If you are a homeowner in New Jersey, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is things are starting to pick up. The bad news is we are still lagging behind most of the country. To get a feel for the state of real estate in the state, Peter Reinhart is with the Kislak Institute at Monmouth University. Thanks as always, sir, for being here. What is the state of real estate in New Jersey?
We are far from comatose, and we are on the road to recovery, but we're still in the recovery room.
Were we comatose? Are we coming out of a coma?
Oh, we had a tough time during the Great Recession, as it's come to be known as opposed to the Great Depression in the 1930s. From 09 to 2011, things were pretty tough for New Jersey homeowners, and things really started to improve. And then we had, unfortunately, Sandy 4 years ago, which put the kibosh on the recovery for a while. But we're picking up, but we're still lagging behind the nation.
From the reports that I read, it says that the home prices on the average have risen 3%. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
But that lags behind the country.
Country is in the more the 4 to 5% range, but don't forget national averages are very misleading because they are just that, averages. But so you really want to look at, if you're a homeowner, you want to know how your town, your county is doing.
And what is it? You keep hearing about real estate, it's location, location, sure. Location. Is that come into play when you're talking about these counties?
Yeah, what's interesting about location, 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 it's still true, but the desirable locations have changed dramatically. Now the demand is for any town that has a train station and any town that is more walkable and livable, because the buyers that are becoming now are the millennials. And they have less interest in those big 2 to 5 acre McMansions out in the more rural parts of the state.
And they want a more urban setting, is that right?
They definitely want a more urban setting. They're willing to take smaller houses. And that's what's driving the market. So most of the new construction, roughly 2/3 of the new construction in the state, is no longer in the suburbs, it's now in the urban areas.
But as the millennials get older and as they have families, do they then move out to the suburbs?
That's the big question, because they're not older yet. They're just starting to get older, and that's what the big question mark for the market is. Will they move out of those urban areas into the more traditional suburban towns or not? And there isn't enough information yet. That in 5 years from now, I'll have a better answer for you.
And new home construction is lagging.
New home construction, it's been lagging for a long time. The peak years were really in the 1980s, but we're now doing, in the 30,000 a year range, with 2/3 of that being multifamily. That's the exact opposite of what it was, 25 years ago or so. And most of that multifamily is in those more urban areas.
Because of the millennials wanting urban areas, is the renovation of old buildings becoming more of the way rather than new construction?
Well, there's still going to be a lot of new construction, but you are seeing two parts of renovation. Existing homes, even in the suburbs and stuff, are being renovated. You go to Home Depot and Lowe's, and you're seeing a lot of materials being purchased for renovations. And frankly, just to have your older home that was built 30 years ago be interesting to the market, you've got to upgrade your kitchens and your bathrooms and things like that. But then I think what you're talking about is what I call adaptive reuse, which is taking existing buildings that might have been used for car dealers or schools or gyms, being retrofitted to things that were never dreamed about until very recently.
How does the tax rate in New Jersey affect all of this?
You're talking property taxes?
Well, all of them, because I know it's changed a little bit with the real estate tax and the inheritance tax. I mean, not the real estate tax, but the inheritance tax.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we haven't seen the impact of the inheritance tax yet. That's just,
right,
what,
just
month
happened.
old or so. So, but the property taxes are still a concern. It's still one of the biggest reasons for people leaving the state. Particularly as they get older, they retire, they're maybe not a fixed income, but lesser income. And property taxes are a significant impact.
And have you been able to study the retirees that are leaving the state because of the property tax, and in the past, the inheritance tax?
Well, there's been several studies. Boston College did a study a few years ago that showed that, we call it the wealth effect, has been leaving. It's very difficult to pinpoint the exact reasons. I think it's a myriad of reasons, but property taxes are definitely one of them, and the estate tax, which hopefully now this new change will reduce that.
What is the effect on that with businesses moving to the state? Because I read a report on this that we don't realize when they look at an executive, a CEO coming to the state, when he wants to put a company here, not only is he looking at the business tax, he has to worry about his family, he has to worry about his employees buying and the property taxes they're going to have to spend. Yeah,
the whole tax structure is not particularly friendly to companies looking to relocate from out of the state. And they typically will compare New Jersey with other states. And strictly on paper, we don't fare well in that comparison. If you take the intangibles out of it, New Jersey does better. We have highly regarded school systems. We have wonderful location in terms of the shore, in terms of proximity to New York and Philadelphia. So those intangibles are very valuable, and they help to offset the, on paper, unfavorable rating with the tax structure. The business regulation environment, very unfriendly for businesses compared to other states.
Let's wrap this up just with of communicating to homeowners or home buyers. Is this a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell?
Yes and yes. One of the problems with the real estate market is there's a low amount of inventory, meaning a low amount of number of homes for sale. One of the main reasons for that is many of the sellers who own those nice homes in the suburbs in the past saw the prices that their neighbors got in the 2005 era, and they still think they're entitled to that. Well, you're entitled to what the market is, and as a result, they've been reluctant to put their homes on the market, and as a result, we don't have a lot of offerings available compared to what a normal market would.
And the outlook is good for the future?
Well, as I said in the beginning, real estate is cyclical. And it's been, what year is it, 16? It's been, depending when you think the recovery started, 5 to 7 years. The average cycle is 7 to 10 years.
Sarah, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. Peter Reinhart with the Kislak Real Estate Institute at Monmouth University. When we come back, the businesses along Route 17 are booming. We'll tell you why when Jersey Matters continues.